Always give myself a thumbs up. But I haven't changed the backdrop screen. Oh, well, doesn't matter. Change the backdrop.
Still says it's waiting. There we go.
Here we are, once again, on a Saturday morning with our friends. I think it's all working.
Friends? Where are their friends?
Is it working? Is it working?
It is working.
Lucky Luke, g'day. So there you go. So, somehow the Streamlabs is broken. It tells me 0 viewers. Yet the web page says there's
3 watching now.
3 watching.
You started the stream and lost half the people.
That's what happens. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. William Poole, good morning. How are you? This is caught up 5 years. Yeah, all good here. If you saw the live stream, I didn't think I did. When did I do a live stream? I can't remember now. Was that Tuesday or Wednesday? Wednesday night I did a live stream, didn't I? I did it from the local supermarket. We got our COVID-19 insurance. I think I've got it in here. Did I put it in here or did I put it somewhere else? Stuck it somewhere. She went looking for something in my drawer the other day, and of course all my, my filing system is the fact that most recent goes on top. Screwed that up. But yeah, so we got our insurance done for the COVID-19. So what the hell did I just press on that? Let's not do that. Don't want to stuff up the mode. There we go. Don't want to stuff up my air conditioner. Yeah, so, well, family channel Thai Western relationship. Hi, how's it going? Mal K. I got to get better glasses. Thomas Ogden, yeah, Gutty Oggie's here joining us with the Discord, of course. Say hello, Oggie.
Always around. I'm like a bad penny. I just keep going up.
That's it. That's where we are playing Imperion together. So, what I wanted to do is I want to get my links page to make sure that anybody else wants to jump on, because it looks like we haven't got Steven showing up.
Oh, I hadn't even noticed you dumped the beard.
Yeah, I dumped the beard. So look, where are we? I'm going the wrong place again. Oh my God, it's just one of those things. Yeah, so if you want to jump on and say hello, there's the link to the Discord channel. You're quite welcome to pop in and say hello. Stephen haven't spoken to Stephen all week. I got a bit narcissistic with him, he kept on going on about his share portfolio and his superannuation. He's just talking about it, and I just said, just go and sort it out on Monday if it worries you that much. And he said, yeah, and then I haven't spoken to him since. I think he got upset with me from being a bit too nasty with him. But we'll soon find out. Maybe he's just sleeping in, who knows. And maybe he's just got other things to do as well.
Yeah, for me, I'm looking at the failure of the stock market right now as being a good thing.
Yeah, so I've
my money out before it crashed.
My portfolio. Yeah, my portfolio is now down 90,000. So there, how's that? So, yep. So this is what happens. This is the way it goes. Of course, there's obviously the big issue of these people who pulled out. Before they told the US about the seriousness of the case, they pulled their money out of the stock market, which did no one to help. But the interesting thing is the best indicators that I would look at is again the Bitcoin. So Bitcoin did crash, went down to below 4,000. Went down to 4,000, I think it was. 4,500 about 5 days ago, but it's now climbed to 6,000 again, so people are getting a bit more confidence in that. But anyway, we'll cover off all that. Well, let me just make sure I haven't missed anything. Did anybody ask any questions? Lucky Luke, Andy. Good morning, Andy. How's how's the form, Warren? Yes, there's no beard. Basically, the reason the beard came, I did have I was given 3 months I could have the beard. She said she'd put up with it for 3 months. But it's wearing the mask, the mask, it just felt really uncomfortable, so I decided to take it off so the mask would fit better. Wayne York, good afternoon. Good morning. I can't remember where you're from. I think you're an evening. I think you're a US. I'm pretty sure. William Poole, look younger. Well, I know that's what she kept on telling me. She's like, Roy Goyd, how you doing? I need to know from immigration when they are letting tourists stay. There was something I'm going to bring up. Did I put it in the news for links? Thailand travel, Thailand news. I probably didn't link it, but Phuket are extending for 30 days. If you're on a temporary visa here, they're doing automatic extensions. Unfortunately, this is the thing. At the moment, there is no law in immigration that allows them to cope with this sort of things, and laws, as you know, take time to change, right? And everybody else is in a panic about everything else, and so all these extensions are being done, right, on a need-to basis on the different immigration officers. But I think they're trying to avoid any bad press on that, so they're bending rules. But this is typically what we find in Thailand. So rules get bent; they don't get broken. They make it easier to do the extensions and everything else. Yeah, Chanya will be happier, William. That's no doubt. Wayne York, yes. Look, absolutely no problems here. Look, in my life, there's nothing changed. Like I sit in front of a computer, play computer games. The only thing different in my life is the fact that I didn't go to Bangkok last week, or this week. So that's Friday. We didn't go yesterday to the meetup. And Tuesday was also our scheduled meetup day for my pub crawl meetup. So I didn't go to Bangkok. That's all I didn't do. Everything else is pretty much business as usual. Everybody's still in the streets out here. Joe was went down to had a chat to Joe last night at the 7-Eleven there at the the little Joe. He's the sausage vendor, the Isan sausage vendor, and so I go and I pretend to shake his hand, and I go stop, and I go showed him the elbow, and yeah. Did the new handshake. He thought that was funny. And that's what's happening. There's a lot of concern in the general Thai population about the COVID-19. As I said, we got the insurance done, so although Chanya is now covered automatically for any medical expenses if she actually catches it, don't forget she's still running the salon. But she's regularly using the hand sanitizer, and she's wearing the mask and things like that to help her. She's got a better mask than I have. She's got those proper masks. But as I said, keep the shop open while others close, because others will close, which will be new customers. So I think she's going along that sort of mentality for the shop. So although she's had a very big drop in the amount of customers, but the drop is not so much to do with COVID-19. The drop is the fact that like Thais have just had to go out and spend 850 baht to get like the COVID-19 insurance. That's out of pocket expenses, which is not scheduled in the normal Thai daily living. Thais have done a bit of what they call dried goods stockpiling. We saw a whole bunch of people. We went and got a few cartons of noodles as well. I think last week or last Saturday, I think it was, and some water. Hello, darling.
I'm sorry, guy. Give me hand.
Give you a hand.
2 hand. Okay, clean first.
Why?
Okay. Stop for COVID.
Oh, you stop for come here. Give me a kiss.
No, have mask.
No, come here. Give
No,
me a kiss.
cannot kiss,
Everybody want to
man.
see you. Calm down. Calm here.
Okay.
Give me a kiss. Kiss me.
Kiss.
Kiss me.
No.
Kiss me. Jump on.
Okay, die
Okay.
clean first.
No. Kiss me.
No. 14 days, the kiss better.
Kiss me.
No.
Kiss me. She's a joker.
Okay, clean again.
No. Not that I've got any COVID-19 floating around in my man cave. It wouldn't dare into my man cave. But yeah, so she's had a downturn in customers. She's only wanting 1 or 2 cuts a day. But you know, she still has to pay the rent. They haven't sort of said they're going to reduce the rent. So it's one of those sort of things. Anyway, she's getting herself ready to go off. What did I miss there? Dalo, good afternoon. I think you're, I don't know, you're right. That's right. You're back in Australia now. Sorry, we got to miss up. Sorry, we got to meet up. Dalo did tell me the fact that we were planning to get together last week, and I was planning Thursday, but he read the news article about Australia and everything else, and Australia's recommending all travellers come home, so he cut his holiday short by 2 weeks, which is a bit of a shame. I feel a little bit sad about that. Got to miss one of my regular viewers. Big turnout at Bondi. Yeah, I saw the photos. Yes. I think what we need to do is we need to do our normal format. I don't want to sort of miss out on doing our normal format. Let's. I think we're caught up with got first case in. Where is it? No, you can and Thai. G'day, how you doing? I haven't seen you around the track for quite some time. Got first case in Yasathorn. I'm not quite sure where that is. I guess that's probably north of Bangkok somewhere. We should ship a heap of bum guns out. I know we should, yeah. I've got some funny photos.
Send one my way.
Yeah. Good evening, Lee. How you doing? Not so good in Pattaya. Bar's close, and soon will be a ghost town. Yeah. Anyway, let's see if we can just quickly race through the normal format here, right? And get myself off screen. Right. So do more live. He's still got his live stream going. Me. Okay. So we are live. Oh, bugger off with the HTTPS everywhere. That's another extension you should have installed in the browser if you wanted to know. Okay, so we did the most latest vlog video was the Tamachat Cafe and Bistro. Me relaxing out there in the rice field, getting that sort of Bali vibe, you know. If you haven't seen that, you're going to check that video out. Of course, we did the Big C Petcus and COVID-19 insurance. I got a few views, probably because I had a few keywords like COVID-19 and insurance and gossip and quarantine. These little trick words, I think, probably help boost those numbers. But hey, it's it's what it is. You get what you get. And of course, that was the other stream we did from last Saturday. Colin in Thailand. No, he hasn't got a new video out. That was 2 weeks ago. Colin, what are you doing? Okay, down in Thailand, he has got a new video out. Ghost Town, global coronavirus devastates tourism in central Bangkok. Yes, it does. Tai Wisera still keeping herself busy with essential vocabulary, master classes and things like greetings from San Francisco. Yeah, she's over in the States at the moment. Maggie, what do we got here? Cha Arm by scooter, 1 day trip. Maggie's journey. There you go. I don't know, 1 day trips on a scooter. That's just, I'd rather take a big bike. But yeah, so I don't see what that's probably going to do. We'll probably run a bit of a as with the program moves on. We'll talk more about COVID-19, but we'll actually sort of run a backdrop of some video. I've got some ready video. We did a bike ride last Sunday, which will be the next video out. No time to be sad. What's Chuck been doing? That's right, Chuck is stranded on a tropical island. Oh, poor guy. I feel for him so badly.
On purpose.
Accidentally on purpose, exactly.
The mafia was freaking out, so they just left.
Yeah, okay. Horizon Bar, Hilton Pattaya for 3 days ago. Thailand Unplugged. He's got his usual news from Thailand stuff, which he will cover probably show this afternoon on his live stream. It's pretty delicious. She's still eating and cooking more food, growing more vegetables. There you go. Fun for Emily. Best zip line in Phuket. There's a zip line in Phuket if you were down that way. Check out the zip line. Direction Bangkok. I saw he was doing a live stream yesterday. No, it wasn't a live stream. I think it was a premiere he did. So it was at Coconut Head searches for coconuts. Take a spill, jump over the fence to an abandoned factory. He's still getting out and about, keeping himself busy. Foreign Joe, Thailand now, new travel restrictions from restrictions version COVID-19 in Bangkok. So a few more bits and pieces from him. Visit ancient city in Siam. That's a nice little place to go and check out. We do plan to get back there. I did a video of that 6 or 7 years ago. It's in my private videos if you're a member or you're a Patreon. But it was only shot in 720p and it was an older camera. But we do plan to get back there at some stage. David Daly, Pattaya Day and Night. Yes, okay, Pattaya Day and Night. Looks like he's doing some more video from Pattaya, probably pre-recorded footage. I don't believe he's in the country at the moment. Niall, Thailand, getting checked for COVID-19. Niall, is he here? Does he tell us about that? Okay, oh, yeah. Niall, you're here still? Been stuck in a coma for the last 2 years. I did gamble on Tuesday. They took a trip to Pattaya for St. Patrick's Day. But getting checked, so please update us. Did you get checked? Tell us about that, Niall. So Jocka Chiang Mai there. This is of course post-recorded video as well. I think he's back in his home country at the moment. Chiang Mai nightlife. That was 4 hours ago. Updated red light district. Where else are we going? Ian Welldale. Smoke gets in your eyes. Okay, up there, they're still burning off. Bad Badger. Guys, this could save your life, or maybe make it better. Bad Badger retired in Thailand. I'm not quite sure what he's on about there. Doesn't give much information in the title. Bit clickbaity. Mal K, Bondi Beach, Sydney has been closed. However, yeah, you tell me about it. Yes, Lantern Phuket. So it's another visit to Phuket there for a Yorkshire breakfast. Eyes of a Thai. Harvest. Harvest lamb of cassava tapioca with your family. So 18 hours ago from that. Live stream at Mukdahan Town. I'm not quite sure where that is either. Travel Asia. Okay, so Korea. Might have taken off the list. I don't think he's doing any more in Thailand. Talk Back Thailand live stream. So he's got a reminder there for this afternoon. Is that this afternoon? Yes, 21st Saturday. Yep. He'll be doing one this Sunday, I'm sure as well, but I'm not sure. Celia. I can't even pronounce that name. Is that some sort of a different language? I can't tell. Anyway, another video from her. Looks like it's a food video. XP4, flight from Toronto to Hong Kong. So it looks like it's pre-recorded stuff. Thailand, so David Hanoi, Charm Beach walkthrough. Andy Wright, what day is he up to in his adventures? Day 21. Part 4, 2nd November. Robert Mack in Asia. What's he got there? Big win slot machine jackpot in Las Vegas. Lucky for him. How much did he win there, Robert? Not that he really needs it. He's fairly well self-supporting financially anyway. Yeah, so we got Fraser Hatyai is back and doing his videos from down south there. Nick. Everybody will overstay soon. Yep, I know. What do we got? Pattaya bar closes for 14 days. Yes. So you just take up a new bar and then they close all the bars. Not good for cash flow, but this is the way it goes, unfortunately. That foreign bloke. We got well, I never. Looks like something to do making moonshine, I'm guessing, or hand sanitizer, I don't know. Rob, what's he got out for us today? Happy birthday for Nana. Some WTF issue. As I said, he did his Kev update. I don't know if anybody saw that Kev update. But I won't give any more information on Kev. You can go and check out their video. It gives you a bit of an update on how things are with Kev. James abroad. Day 6 Thai tyre repair. 1.56 million Thai house. Thai dry noodle. How much to live in rural Thailand? Oh, there you go. A bit of a smorgasbord of little things there from James. Serena, Thailand. Last one from her. Come on. There we go. Okay. Serena, Thailand. Okay. Patong Beach, March 20th, 2020. So it's a bit of a video from Patong Beach there. How's that? 5 days, how much I spend on my food and savings. Okay. A little bit of a cost of living there. And that's about the channel rundown. So let's get back into it. What have I missed? Have you been watching the comments, Oggy?
Huh? No, I've been building.
You've been building something. Oggy's playing sort of playing Imperion and dying a lot. How many deaths are you up to in that game now? I haven't even looked recently.
I don't want to talk about it.
You don't want to talk about it. But yes,
number of deaths. Where did I hide it?
Forever Holiday, how is Thailand keeping the infection rate so low? Well, there's a number of reasons for that. Now, I'll go to actually a clip here. I know a clip, so let's have a look at the numbers right now. I don't think this has been updated. I got 50 new deaths today. Look at a scrolling thing, so I have to wait for it to come round. So this is the infection rate. We've got one of the things that I think Blues Inks has said that people have come to Bangkok for work potential. Things are being closed down. Let me get out of the screen, of course. Let me just minimize. I am out of the screen. Good. So, one of the things that's happening is people are coming to Bangkok as they normally do to do their work. Right, they're finding that they're being closed down. The establishments that are here in Bangkok are closing down. Obviously, in curfews, bars, and so on and so forth. So these people are then going back to where they live, and so we're getting a bit of a gradual spread around the country. We've got, 50 new cases, 1 death, 43 losses, so it's 322. One of the reasons that are being cited as being a low contagion rate compared to the close proximity of China and certainly Chinese visiting Thailand is the actual temperature. One of the reports, I don't know if I actually saved that information, and maybe I didn't because it wasn't specifically Thailand related. But one of the articles I did read was specifically stating that they're now showing a direct correlation between high temperature, high humidity, and low contagion rates across all the infected places around around not so much the country, around the world. So it's definitely having sort of an adverse effect to helping the spread of the virus. This virus specifically likes to thrive in temperatures, of the mid-teens with low humidity, where they're finding the fact that it'll actually the contagion actually stays airborne longer. On surfaces it stays active longer, and don't forget the surfaces here in Thailand are like, the hand railing is 32, 33 degrees. It pretty much cooks the virus almost instantaneously. What the contagions, what we've got is more the close proximity of people and direct, a bartender giving you a glass to drink from, and then you're touching the glass, and then you're rubbing your face with it and things like that. And these are sort of where the contagions are happening. in cool surfaces and things like that, inside air-conditioned locations where the temperatures are much lower. But outside, we're getting very little contagion here in Thailand, and this is what they're finding in these other cases around other high humidity areas. One of the other interesting articles that come across, I think it was yesterday, it looks like, well of course we've got this mandatory, you need you need a health certificate to get a visa to come to the country. Pretty much Thailand has closed the borders without actually saying we've closed the borders, because nobody's actually issuing health certificates to allow you to get a visa to travel to Thailand. Even Thailand people, Thai nationals in London are in a panic now because they want to get out of England and get out of London simply because of the fact that they're being hopeless, what they call it, well, they've got a picture here. Let me show you. Where's that picture? Thailand News, yes. Open the original. What we've got is this graph here, I think it was 20th of the 3rd, 10 p.m. from World Health Organization. What we're seeing here is we're seeing China has definitely got a flattening of the curve because they've got on top of it. Their strict quarantine processes and everything else, plus they're quick to act. Well, not so much quick to act, they were quick to act compared to other people with, in the quarantines, in the high contagion zones. I'm not quite sure what this little peak was here. Haven't sort of known any particular things said about why that jump was there. South Korea again, they didn't go into strict quarantine, but they really sort of got on top of it with social distancing and essential travel and things like that. Not sure which one that one there is, but again, Sweden looks like they're flattening the curve. Right. Whereas, what was the saying, Hong Kong? Well, Hong Kong's contagion rate seems to be fairly low compared to their distance. Singapore, not we're seeing a flattening the curve. And Japan, not seeing a flatten. Australia's just having absolutely no time at all to prevent the virus. UK is just looking completely abysmal. I don't know if I've got a USA. USA is the same thing. These Western sort of civilizations think that they're better than thou, having trouble containing it because they haven't done the right thing with the whole container. It's really about personal contact spread, right? You need to be social distancing. This is one of the things that's really sort of, they're not getting they're not getting the memos, and like as I said, we got freaking people on Bondi Beach. For what? Oh, really? They shut down anything more than 10 people in a confined space to get the hell out of there. That's what you need to be doing. But yeah, I've got more news to sort of say on this one as well. But yeah, so getting back to the whole thing, what we're sort of seeing, we're seeing sort of local sort of spread cases. Phetchabun found a female patient COVID-19 infected. Emerging from Bangkok, domiciled in Muang District. Phetchabun has a history of working as a guide and working so the guides that obviously don't have work, so they're going back home. Travelled back to Phetchabun on a bus, so she was infected. She was on the bus, so potentially anybody on that bus would be, have come in contact with it possibly. The owner of Bon Network here, who has been infected with COVID, is expected to be caught by people returning from Italy, but the infected person did not enter or stop at all. So again, contact with people from overseas. One case there. What's this one here? Travelled from the United States to Thailand on March 16th. We checked that one. Patient found in the COVID-19 increased the third person, 57-year-old male patient was at the boxing stadium issue, and from what I can understand, they've still got another boxing match scheduled. We've got a few cases down in this area here. 77 travellers from Italy have observed the symptoms until 14 days have elapsed. We've got that one there. One traveller from Italy. travel from Italy, 3 travellers from Italy, so Italian people down in the Rayon district. What have we got up here? So Pattaya seems to actually be a little bit, this is Pattaya, isn't it? Just remember, or is that Pattaya? No, that's Pattaya there. Fake news. So Pattaya seems to be fairly all devoid of cases. Well, what have we got here? Along the beach. Chonburi governor confirmed an infection of COVID-19 with the order closing the bars, pubs and spa. Yeah, so he's given the order to close things down. We've got a case there returning from Italy. So, Italy's the main source now, and basically they should be just banning all Italians from getting out of the country. Mind you, there was one report I did read yesterday, which I didn't save. The epicentre, right? They went into a strict quarantine, and they have actually sort of had 0 cases in the last 24 hours. Right? There's been no further spread, but the spread has already happened across Italy generally. But the epicentre has actually reported 0 new cases or something, or was it 0 deaths in the last 24 to 48 hours. So they've sort of suddenly got on top of it with their quarantine. So things are sort of starting to shape up. People are starting to get the idea, the way to contain this case. Mind you, right, okay, let's go to a news article. Now, we did that, we did the opening of that one. Let me just close that again. Here's an article, right, that is of worth note. Now, this one here, over the last 2 days, there have been a number of extreme case testing done where they've had some extremely good results over the last week, to almost have, I think, sort of from all the articles I've read and trying to sort of weed through all the fake news versus the real articles, seems to suggest 80 to 90% recovery rate in 5 days using this particular treatment. Now, this hydrochloroquine is an anti-malarial drug, and it's been approved for general use in it's been around for something like 50 years. Of course, the reason why it's not used much in malaria these days is there are better anti-malaria drugs. This one here has some certain side effects, which doctors have to really sort of weigh up using it particularly. But what this is saying, and I think the numbers have to average out to 80 to 90%, what they call infection removal rate over 5 days. 3 to 5 days is the period taking this medication along with some antibiotics. So we should see, right, this is still, the drug itself doesn't have to go through FDA approval. I think Trump yesterday has said that it's already been FDA approved. Well, it's been FDA approved, it's been on the list anyway on the FDA for treatment of malaria, but I think it's now being FDA approved for treatment of the COVID-19. So, and I saw a report come out from the ABC Australia as well. 50 people were tested, used this drug in the last week, and again, highly successful rates of removal of the virus, right, and completely removal. It's not putting it into remission. It's actually, the tests show that there is no virus in their body after 5 days. So what we'll probably sort of see is the stock prices of people who manufacture hydrochloroquine, they will probably skyrocket in the next 4 to 5 days, right? And this fairly inexpensive drug will be price gouged, but effectively people who have got money will be able to rid themselves of the virus, right? Which is what I think is the most inhumane thing about our human race, and it behoves me to think about the bullshit that we have to deal with these price gouging and bullshit that goes on with everybody that wanting to make a fast buck for something where we should be coming together as a human species to solve the problem. We've got something that looks like a cure to the disease, and we can get back to normal probably within 2 weeks if they just mass produce the drug and just hand it out to anybody that showed the slightest symptoms, right? This would be the way to go. Of course, with medical advice. But yeah, so look, I don't want to go to the article. You can read the article for yourself. It's on TechCrunch. Let me just go here and link it in the channel so you can have a read for it yourself if you haven't caught it already. Where are we? Yeah, so that's a potential cure to the disease. Now, of course, you've got to also understand the fact there are side effects. This is why other anti-malarial drugs are now commonly used, because the side effects of this drug here, right? Okay, so for short-term treatment for acute malaria, adverse effects include abdominal cramps, diarrhea, heart problems, reduced appetite, headache, nausea, and vomiting. So it's not a perfectly cleaned drug, but it has good results for the COVID-19. So you might get sick, but you won't die. I don't know, it's a bit of a toss-up there. For prolonged treatment, and again, you've only got to take this thing for about 4 to 5 days, right? So the prolonged treatment, this is obviously for malaria sufferers, lupus, rheumatoid arthritis, adverse include acute symptoms plus altered eye pigmentation, acne, anemia, bleaching of hair, blisters in the mouth and eyes, blood disorders, convulsions, vision difficulties, diminished reflexes, emotional changes, excessive colouring of the skin, hearing loss, hives, itching, liver problems, liver failure, loss of hair, muscular paralysis, weakness or atrophy, nightmares, psoriasis, disease characteristics of them or patches of skins. Yeah, okay, difficult, reading difficulties, tinnitus. I already have tinnitus, so it's not going to help. I can't make it any worse, surely. Skin inflammation, scaling, skin rash, vertigo, weight loss. Obviously, that could be handy for some people. Occasional urinary incontinence, hydrochlorine can worsen existing cases of both psoriasis and I can't even pronounce that. What porphyria is a group of diseases in which a substance called psoriasis build up in negatively affected skin and nervous systems type. I've never come across that one before. Yeah, so I think the worst part of it is the fact that it causes vision impairment. So it has some nasty side effects for prolonged use. But as I said, what they're finding this particular regime in the test cases that they've done, and there's still a small number of things. It's not like it's been clinically trialed for 3 months. The doctors who are prescribing it are having to exercise extreme caution, right, and setting up their test cases and their sort of what they call their double blind scenarios and things like that. So the worst case here is the fact that you've got COVID-19, right? You go in for this test. Now, are you taking a placebo or are you taking the drug? It's really, it's not very helpful, and I don't think you get very many people volunteering, right? But again, the prospect of dying, which is a very real sort of thing here from the COVID-19. I think people are erring, some are taking the brave risk and they're finding that they're getting through it. So it's a hard one to tell. It's not done any long-term clinical trials, but I think what we'll find over the next 2 weeks, the results that they're going to get back from this combination of drugs are going to put into mass rollout, and we'll pretty much see, hopefully, well, I'm betting in probably within 4 weeks, complete reversal across the globe, and we'll only see spattering of cases, right, as the 2-week incubation period and contact and everything else, right, that'll still spread around. But I think what we'll find is this drug will come into wide use, and pretty much put everything into reversal. So we should find things getting back to normal in about 1 to 2 months. Hopefully, I'm keeping my fingers crossed. But other than that, we are sort of seeing here in local Bangkok, as I said, the live stream on Wednesday, everything's still, okay, there wasn't quite so many people in the market area, but there were still people shopping. People still seem to be going about their business where we live. The local streets here still seem to be sort of getting along with the normal stuff. I don't sort of see any businesses closing down locally here. So it's all looking pretty normal here where we live, but we are not in the centre of Bangkok. Anyway, so let's have a quick rundown of what we've been still talking about. I don't think so. Lots of people speculating the virus will be around, affecting a long time. Yeah, well, there's a lot of naysayers out there, and it's going to be. Well, again, this is like a big gamble. Nobody's really knows how to deal with this thing here. Social distancing, cleaning your hands, don't touching your face. And I had a few people sort of giving me grief about my mask not doing anything. My mask does what it needs to do, which is help people feel more comfortable, which is what masks do. No mask is effective of stopping the virus because it's not really an airborne virus. It is a contact virus. You want to stop touching your face. My problem is the fact that with the beard, right, I was finding I'm constantly adjusting the bloody mask, right, and not used to the mask, and the mask doesn't fit very well because I've got a big nose, right. So I've asked Mother to see if she can make me something newer. She'll make something up, and hopefully it'll be all right. But I'm not out and about anyway, so I'm not too worried about it. William Poole. So Andy Stubbs, they're talking about isolating areas in Australia which are hotspots. Yeah, that's what they need to do. They basically need to close down the spread, right, and to confine people. And everybody should go into a sort of a non-essential travel, 2-week quarantine. I got some funny pictures about that one, which I'll move to shortly. And I got Chanya coming in. What have you got for me today?
Bacon tomorrow, nah. Okay.
Oh yeah. I've got food now. Okay, so I got she's taking care of me. Breakfast time. I'll eat and make you guys jealous. So normally I'd go out and get something, but I can eat in my bedroom.
Didn't she bring you bacon and eggs yesterday?
She brought me bacon and eggs yesterday.
2 days in a row?
Mm-hmm. Today we got sausage for the egg. Anyway, I'm sure that
she spoils you.
She does, doesn't she? Hopefully I haven't lost too much of the audio here. You're going to hear me eat. I'm sure that countries worldwide trying to find a cure of the coronavirus will get their heads together. Yeah, I'm confident the fact that we'll have a solution within 2 weeks. Back to normal. Back to normal. Normal left the room.
Normal's the setting on the dryer.
Normal's the setting on the dryer? Exactly. What is normal anyway? Oh, she's got this is the sausage with the chilies on it. So I don't normally do eating videos, but I'm doing an eating video today. How's that?
As long as you brought enough to share.
I didn't. She only made enough for me. Sorry, guys. Not enough super chats for me to share with everybody. We've got 34 people watching.
You lost one. 33 now. 34. Went back up.
Never know those numbers. Yeah, profiteering. Ray, profiteering. Yeah, it shows the anybody found profiteering in this crisis. I think they need to be social distance forever, right? But as I say, up to you. The profiteering is, okay, no, there's been no real studies if a drug will help. Yeah, that's again, these studies take a long time to do. And that's one of the hardest things that you have to deal with is the length of time the study has to go through. But as I said, part of the longevity of these studies is the fact that getting the approval first, that usually takes 12 months worth of testing. Thankfully, this drug here has already been tested, right, and shown, and they know exactly its side effects. So it's just obviously it just needs approval to be used as a general antidote, or or cure for this particular virus. Direction Bangkok. Yeah, g'day Andrew. Yes, it seems clear that South Korea is the model to follow. Tons of testing followed by tracking down the people infected, have contracted, and then strict quarantine. Yes, their curve is flattened. Their methodology is probably the best one to adopt. But again, you've got countries like America where COVID, I think there's a bill passed by Trump that the actual the test procedure is now going to be covered by the government, but obviously the hospital stay won't. And it was an article I was reading this morning. A typical COVID-19 patient, couple of tests and a couple of hospitalisation bills came to $34,000 US, and she didn't have medical insurance. That's going to bankrupt a lot of people. I don't want to bag the American medical fraternity system. I just don't think it's a very good policy. They should have had health insurance. They went in that direction, and then Trump decided he didn't like the whole idea because a black guy came up with it. Who knows?
Yeah, they actually just announced today a home COVID-19 test.
Oh yeah.
It's going to be like $135. Or if you want to self-administer the test, you can do so, but it's on your dime.
Yeah, there's a lot of things happening. It's accelerating very fast. Put that plate over there. Oh, there we go. Oh, I feel better now. I've had breakfast. What else have we got? Of course, I've skipped a whole bunch of things on that chat. If you want me to ask a question, the best way to ask a question, because I can't keep up with this thing as I'm going through it, make sure you do an @Warren so you can actually it'll highlight you asking me a question specifically. Or better still, hit that super chat and says ask a question via super chat. Up to you. Yeah, most people don't. Most people don't listen to me either. He's losing his grip already. Well, look, he's finally got the right advisors around him now. I think he's starting to make some better decisions, which is the main thing. But I thought, let's just lighten the thing up a bit. I've got to do my just for funds. Okay, let's start at the top. I think it was that one. Oh, that's right. Yeah. For those people. There we go. Okay, so for me to do that, I got to put this thing here. Right, for those people who don't know how to wash their hands properly. Right, here we go. This is how you wash your hands. Okay. This is the correct procedure for washing your hands. This girl's doing a very good job of washing her hands, and I'm going to take you through the whole minute exercise of washing your hands, or 47 seconds of worth. Take special notice of how she's doing the fingers, right, and getting in the cracks there, right. She's doing a very, very good job of showing you, and to get the rinsing, What do you mean? She's showing you how to wash your hands.
He has hands?
That's it. This is how you do it. Really. Come on, guys. What are you? I'm trying to help you here. Really. Anyway. Okay, open original. Here we go. Here's the next funny one. If things get real bad and you have to resort to cannibalism, remember, vegans first. They're the closest thing to grass-fed.
I saw on Facebook today a meat cut, like they have at the butchers that show where the cuts of meat come from, but based on a human body.
Oh, William wants me to repeat the showing the hands thing again. He wasn't watching before. I'm sorry. Oh, okay, fair enough. Well, oh, really. Repeat. Yeah, see how she's not actually touching the faucet. She's actually using her elbow to turn the faucet on and off, and she's making sure she's getting around the finger here, right? Too slow, coach. Okay, listen to you. You sniff and sniff. Well, okay, it's too slow, coach, no problem. If you don't like the stream, then you don't have to watch. We don't make you watch it. Yeah, so we're all good. We got a full understanding of how to wash your hands now. I'm pretty ashamed, Chanya. Come on. Get that off screen.
You showed Chanya earlier, didn't you?
Yeah. Okay, so what was the next one? There has been an onset of a new religious practice called the Corona Sutra, and here's the positions for the Corona Sutra that are acceptable and not acceptable in the Corona Sutra. Yes, this one here, how the distance, the 1.5 meter away from the face, right? That's definitely sort of a plus. The ones that are where the facial contact you've got to be careful of, right? But yep, there's definitely sort of, get the idea. Take a screenshot. Rowan did post this one the other day. Breaking news: Borg cancels invasion amid coronavirus. Invasion cancels. No, we're good. Borg Queen. That one gave me a bit of a chuckle. Here we go. Here's the next one. Okay, 2020 cancelled. After careful consideration, we have decided that it is no longer in the best interest for everyone involved to proceed with 2020. While we recognise that a lot of hard work has gone into preparing for 2020, if we're honest, it has turned into a bit of a shit show, and we feel it is best to just call it off. We understand that some of you were looking forward to seeing what cruel and particular disaster of 2020 will throw up next, but on balance, we believe it probably best not to find out. We will instead provide ticket holders with full refund and an exchange and start afresh with 2021 on next Monday. Our plan is to deliver a more enjoyable year, similar to, say, 2016, which everyone thought was absolutely the worst year of all time, but in retrospect was a walk in the park. See you next year, management. Just gave me a chuckle, that one. This one here is, again, a little bit sort of hard cutting for all those religious bent folks. So yeah, they're now looking to the science, because like prayer is just simply not working. And I've seen some photos like Bangladesh. They've got mass crowds where people are, they with their little hoodie turban things on, and they're doing their bowing to the East Buddha or whatever, not Buddha or Islam or Allah or whatever they're doing, in close proximity. If we don't see a mass spread of the virus in Bangladesh in the next week or two, I'd be surprised. But seriously, right, those sort of closed gatherings, religiously, prostrating in front of, the Ori, seriously.
even the Catholics have separated themselves in Italy.
Yeah, but as I said, now they turn to the science and sort of scientists save us. Yes, right. Um, 19 Ford. Good morning. Good evening. I think I had that one there, so, the rubber doll one. Where is it? Did I show that one? I know I put it up somewhere. Did I save it? Maybe I didn't. Maybe I didn't put it in here. I think I showed that one. Yeah. Can we please put some smart people in charge now? Um, Going through all the funny bits. Oh yeah, this is the next one that I wanted to show. Open the original. This is how I expected This is how I expected my apocalypse outfit to look like. Here's how it really looks. Don't you like the his and hers matching jumpsuits? On both sides. Yeah, some states have. I've been reading that some states have locked down already, which is good. People are starting to get a grip of the whole thing.
California has announced that they want everybody to stay home for the next month, and that's 1 in 8 people in the U.S.
The greenies have been keeping quiet for the last week or two. Well, we're actually seeing some interesting articles about pollution in general, and some of them are a little bit questionable about the validity, but it does sort of seem the downturn in industry and people being quarantined in China has reduced the pollution levels in China, which is a plus, and other places around the world are showing some interesting sort of signs as well.
They were showing the canals in Venice.
Yeah, well, that one's actually
see the fish in the bottom of the canal.
Yeah, that's actually been debunked already. Those dolphins are actually, that photo that you're sort of seeing is actually taken from another place in Italy that already had dolphins before the virus. That has been debunked as being fake news. But hey, it's a nice thought and feeling anyway.
No, this wasn't one. This wasn't one with dolphins. This was just showing the canals, and you could see the
fish,
canals.
yeah. But the dolphin
It was
one
clear, and it had very small fish in it.
Yeah, the dolphin one has been debunked. Those dolphins are actually sort of from a different town and around the area. I think it's about 200 miles away from Venice, and those dolphins were already present in the canals anyway. But yeah, sort of people like to spin the thing the way just the way it goes. People like to spin fake news because it gets clicks and it gets likes. Oh my God, seriously. Anyway, the last one of my funny ones here. This one here gave me a bit of a chuckle. A decision was made. So they stuck their toilet rolls back on the shelf and they took their beer instead. That was more important.
Leave the bog rolls, take the beer.
That's it.
Somebody had their priorities.
Priorities were made. Priority decisions in charge of everything. Yes, that's what we like to see. Chris B, yeah, that's the thing. Like, I'd have to say there's a lot of speculation around that as well, which is, yeah, we had the 2008, and I think from about 2016 we had a lot of naysayers sort of saying there's another financial crash on its way, right? Unfortunately, it didn't happen naturally. There's been a couple of little, what they call, dips in the stock market, but it's been fairly well regulated. You've got to start to put your tinfoil hats on again and to say, it's the coincidence of this virus coming out and crashing the stock market, right? It's just too real to say, although the reports to say it was naturally occurring, it's just too real. The fact that 2 years after they expected their big crash, something was created to make the crash happen. Blues Inc. just sent something through. What did they sent through there? Yes, he's an idiot with zero common sense. and no social skills, but he is my son. I just hope he never goes into politics. No. Okay. I don't know whether that was actually said. That's again, but it's like, well, we can always sort of throw it up there just for the sake of it. I don't know. Did she really sort of say that? Unless, of course, I actually see a video of her saying that. I have to say it could be speculation, right? You never know what they really say unless they see their lips move and the actual sound come out of their mouth. But then again, we've got that YouTube channel out there, which is perfect lip syncing. Or something or other, where they changed the actual dialogue in some movies. They're getting pretty good at what they call the deep fake, where they can lip sync pretty much anything into a video these days to make it sound like something else. You never know even with video, but it takes a lot of work. These sort of things, it takes two or 3 minutes to make a photo like that, right? Whereas doing a deep what they call deep fake, isn't it? Isn't that terminology, deep fake? Deep fake, with a Wikipedia article, in which a person in an existing image or video is replaced with someone else's. So they're basically. That I've sort of seen some of this stuff whether it can be done live now. They can put up somewhere with similar facial features, and the deep fake software can actually change frame by frame on a live video feed. You really don't know, but yeah, it's the latest thing in video. We've got to love it. I'm trying to figure out should I hang out in the kitchen? Yeah, I know. So I've got a 2-story house, so I can be in this room, I can be in the clothes room, I can be in Mother's room, I can be downstairs in the kitchen, in the diner. I've got a few rooms I can visit, but again, like we got a fairly big area at the front. There's nobody out in the street. I think I can go out in the street as well without any problems. But anyway. What was I going to talk about next? Was the general chat? Was it Richard live share? Richard Taylor was due to come into Thailand around this time, and he can't get his health insurance, so he can't get a visa at the moment. I just sort of told him, I says, don't panic. Thailand isn't going anywhere. It'll be here when we're allowed to travel again. So basically, just don't panic. I think there's just too much panic going on in the world. SARS in Hong Kong. Go on.
Maybe we should start producing the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy again.
Yeah. Anyway, so I thought I might go and do... people like these ride videos where we'll chat amongst ourselves. So where are we? Let me see if I can find the ride footage from last weekend. Jessica to ride out. Open with film and TV. So let's go for a ride. Something different, I've got to take people off the news articles, and I'll get myself down here so we can actually sort of ride around. But again, this was last Sunday. I thought I might just show this in particular. As you can see in the streets, nothing's changed. This is our local 7-Eleven here on the on the right-hand side, right, with the little taxi, with the wind taxis. This is Sunday morning at about 8:30 in the morning. Talk about social distancing. Well, Thais really aren't practicing. They aren't really practicing social distancing, as you can see. Business as usual.
This is what our street is like every Sunday morning. It is absolutely, it's like a free market. Oh, really?
But yeah, so not many people. A few people wearing some masks, but generally, there doesn't seem to make that guy's got his coke. He's got his supplies of coke for the week. but everything just seems to be running as normal. Of course, this is typically trying to get out of our soy, right? It's not really what they call a shared access road, but it's pretty much been classified as a shared access road, especially this time of the morning. Yeah, totally business as usual, Andy. Johnny Siam, good morning. You want me to put the mask on again, do you? Doesn't get up the right way. It has a particular way. That's just the way it goes. Get my mask on. Doesn't quite fit over the headphones. But yeah, so as you can see, where we live, there's very little concern with the general public. No, Chanya's still running the salon. I've suggested she keeps the salon open while other people are closing down, right? Because people are still going to want their hair cut. But the problem, it's not so much the personal contact for hair cutting that's the issue. It's the issue of the fact that, as I said, with this new insurance policy, people can now get insurance. Look at this dick. He has to go through. He has to go through.
Nobody fucking wants to wait for anybody around here.
Yeah. Push. This is what you have to deal with.
Just fucking make it harder for everybody.
Yeah. People just love it's that
Toyota,
another thing about Thailand driving, which we'll have to go through at some stage. Yeah, but as I said to Chanya, sort of keep the salon open because people still want to get their hair cut, even though they've got less money to spend because either their jobs have been their factories been shut down or whatever. People are going to be into a bit of a tighter budget. But as I said, if you shut the salon down, those customers are going to, people who do want to get a haircut, they're going to go somewhere else. What are you going to do if you stay at home? You're going to sit in front of the TV. You can sit in front of the TV at the shop as well. You've got a TV at the shop, just sit in front of the TV, So she says it's all good. I don't know, I haven't been to the bars, Chris, so I really couldn't tell you. Stephen, I think he's social distancing at the moment. I got a little bit hard line with him last week after the live stream because he keeps on going on about his investment portfolio and he's in a complete panic about it and everything else. I said, stop talking about it, Stephen. If it worries you that much, call your broker on Monday and sort it out. And I just got a little bit annoyed with him just continually harping on about the same thing. It's not up to me, Stephen. It's your investment policy. I've lost now $90,000 in mine, right? So that's a serious case of what you got, I think it's flattening out now. But the problem is the fact that last Monday, if I decided to make a change in my policy last Monday, I'd still be out of pocket. I might have saved myself probably $30,000, but again, the type of policies I've got, type of investments I've got, they will be quick to recover. Funny with that address says Philippines like standing two travelling in different directions. Just like nobody gives away to anybody in these side streets. But yeah, so this is a ride we did on last Sunday. As you can see, traffic still seems to be normal. This ride goes for this footage goes for just on 2 hours, but we might fast forward a bit as we go through it. Yeah, I'm pretty sure the stock market will come back in time. As soon as as Stephen says, as soon as people get a grip, we will start to see things recover very quickly. And I said with this new hydrochloroquine, I could just say that things will get back to stock. People will get back to work within probably 4 to 6 weeks, and within probably 2 to 3 months, we'll see a very quick change in the stock prices as people start to grab the bargains, as they say. That's right, it's only a paper loss. You had to have sold when those American politicians sold, about 2 weeks before the crash, right? They sort of had other news that something was going to happen, so they just bailed out. But again, you've got to wonder what was being said behind closed doors, don't you?
There's going to be investigations involved with that stuff.
Well, I'm sure there will. Insider trading, things like that. Stock prices of the pharmaceutical industry is going to go up. And again, again, it's not so much price gouging, but that sort of stuff. The stock market should have just fucking turned off. At this sort of thing. That may be sort of something we'll see. There's going to be there's going to be a new world going forward, that's for certain. There's going to be sort of the new policies in place. There's going to be stricter border crossings pretty much globally for the 2 years. They're going to use this as basically a tool to leverage a little bit more xenophobia. I wouldn't be surprised if we'll still see some in England with the increase in the cases in England. I won't be surprised if we'll see some sort of martial law imposed in England, or even sort of maybe the US as well. A lot of speculation about the FEMA camps over there, and a few years ago they might actually become a real thing. Who knows? Any social venues are going to be doing it tough. That's the bottom line, because that's the way to combat the virus, is to create a social distance. Arm's length between other people. Don't touch people. Yeah, stock market should have been suspended. I know there's been a few timeouts over the last week or so, but again, it's I think we'll start to see some new changes in the rules around this sort of stuff. There'll be new policies put in place to guard against this sort of thing, because this is not going to be the only. This is only the first of many possible viruses, because quite frankly the human race has got to a point where they are just sheep, and they just have no idea how to care for themselves anymore. They expect the governments to care for themselves, but they want their personal freedoms, but when it comes to government handouts for some reason, hey, let's just hand the money out. Well, what happened to putting away money for that rainy day? God, I know, I lived my life with having at least 3 months cash in the bank, right, in case, my very secure job was cancelled for some reason. Like I was in an industry that they could have made a management decision, the fact that they want to outsource all the IT infrastructure. They could have happened like that, and I could have been out of a job. I was an infrastructure engineer, senior infrastructure engineer. My job was I could see my job writing on the wall, probably 2007, 2008, with the surge in virtualization. I saw the technical skills that I had, right? I had to adopt new skills to be able to look at how that infrastructure worked, rather than, right, the break fix on sort of individual computer systems. My job could have gone like that any time. So I always had a policy of having 3 months cash in the hand, right, 3 months salary in the bank as a ready cash, right? But people don't do that. People live from paycheck to paycheck. I really don't understand where that thought process even enters into a person's lifestyle. How can they do that? To me, it's totally a foreign concept to me, to live from paycheck to paycheck, and when the paycheck doesn't come, then, oh please, Mr. Government, give me money. Really? the world is completely rooted when it comes to that sort of stuff. Yeah, glue. Yeah, authorities. I think most authorities have lost the grip. They don't have it like. The real problem with the authoritarianism is the fact that there's more people than authority. I worry for Americans because every second American has a gun in their closet. But places like Australia, right, the authorities have the guns and the people could rise up. I suppose, mass panic, you could wrest the guns from the authorities and then you'd have a real problem in your hands. And you could also get to wonder how many guns are still not being, haven't been handed in. I'm pretty sure there's a lot more guns in secret closets around the place than what the government likes to talk about. But that's the problem with authoritarianism, is the fact that you start bringing in these forced quarantines and things like that. Eventually, it's going to push somebody over the edge, and you're going to see mass revolts of people, which, in one sense, might be a good thing. Maybe we'll start to see the world start to sort of settle itself down. You're getting 750. I'm probably entitled to it too, Andy, but I wouldn't know how to get it. I'm not even in Australia. I guess maybe it'll come through when I put my tax in for this year. I don't know. I think we'll all be looking forward to having a few beers when the isolation kicks in. Okay, isolation processes start to wane, dissipate. Yeah, I thought I'd take you for a ride. I haven't done this for a while, so let's take our minds off a little bit, off the whole coronavirus. I think one of the best parts of freedom about a motorcycle is the fact that you do feel free, even in traffic. There was one of the memes that I didn't put it on the list. The best thing about motorcycle riding is the fact that it's automatic social distancing on a motorcycle. You're out in the fresh air. You're out at the temperatures of 35 degrees. All the good things about a motorcycle ride. No, well, if you're going to think about riding a motorcycle, you can get an Australian license to start with to ride motorcycles. Get yourself a small 150cc trail bike. I think in Australia that's probably the best thing to learn on. Get out into some of the trail paddocks to really sort of learn how to handle a bike. Make sure it's a clutch version. You don't want to be sort of learning on an automatic. But yeah, get yourself a 125cc or 150cc trail bike. Get out and do a few trail crosses. That's the best way to learn. You're going to fall on dirt rather than concrete. You're going to learn how a bike responds in loose conditions. Primarily, okay, I might have had 2 years riding before I got my trail bike, but I was on the roads. But I think most of my skill on riding, actually, my riding skill was compounded or escalated quite seriously when I came back to Australia from Scotland, and the bike I first bought when I got back here was a trail bike. And that was before they started closing all the freaking fire trails around our area. We used to take our bikes on the fire trails, and it was great. We would ride fire trails on the weekends. Best way to learn, you're going to come off, right? You're going to hit a few trees. Things are you're going to get a few scratches, but at least it's better than hitting a car. At least it's better than sliding along and getting gravel rash, right? So that would be my suggestion. If you want to learn to ride, get out on the trails. Get on a trail bike. Get some skill behind you, and then you can start to think about what sort of style of riding you want. Yeah, Johnny's right. Yeah, healing. Like I know gravel rash. Although I haven't really had a gravel rash here, and when I've been riding, but I know sort of cuts and abrasions. At this age, they do tend to take a little bit longer to heal as you get older for some reason. One of the reasons, like, next person coming over here, bring me some Friar's balsam, would you? It's something I can't get over here. It's got to put on my list of things I'd like to get. Friar's balsam, one of the best things for gravel rash, and sort of cuts and abrasions and things like that. I just simply can't get it here. No, I still have my Aussie license, but it's now expired. It expired in 2017. I've got Thai. When I came over here, I'd got it converted to a Thai license, and now I have the Thai motorcycle and car license. I think I've mentioned that before in other videos, but I might as well mention it here. Where is it? It is a bit of a strange one. Here in Thailand, you get 2 licenses. You get one for your motorcycle, there's your motorcycle license, and there's your car license. Which means the fact that, effectively, before they stopped confiscating licenses, if you're on a motorcycle and they confiscated your license, you could the next day you could be out in your car if you had a car license. It's just really weird over here. As they bring in the point system, I don't know if they're going to merge these licenses together. I really don't know. But I can almost sort of see the fact that the point system is going to be per license as opposed to per person, which means you'll have 12 points on your car license and 12 points on your motorcycle license. Who knows how that's going to be handled? But as I said, I think all that stuff's going to be put on the back burner for the time being until we all get over this shit. Yeah, we could end up with a Wild West. I believe there's a lot of unregistered guns here in Thailand. Maybe I should go to them. Maybe I should go to the local Sonam Long Song and get myself one of those Colt 45 BB gun lookalikes. They look so real. Just get one, just have one. I think you're not going to be shooting anybody, but just the point of when the shit does break out, just the look of having a gun in your hand might avert some catastrophe at some stage.
Go ahead, punk, make my day.
Hey?
Go ahead, punk, make my day.
Yeah, go ahead, punk, yeah.
I'm from America, I'll shoot you.
Well, if you're only bouncing backwards and forwards, Chris, all you need is the Australian licence. Technically, there is a bipartisan rule between Thailand and Australia. Thais are allowed to ride on Australian roads with their Thai licence without an international permit. And when I actually transferred my licence over here, I wasn't required to show my international permit, which, quite frankly, I didn't have at the time. I just came here, I was just told I'd be able to transfer it, but I stopped using an international permit probably 2012. It would seem like a $35 expense every year that I didn't need to bother with, simply because of the fact that I never got pulled over anyway. But I also found out the fact that the Australian, supposedly, if you carry the Australian photo licence, that's all you need, because of the bipartisan rule. They will look at the licence, they'll take your details down, right, and then obviously ask you where you live and so on and so forth, and you'll have to show your visa and so on and so forth. But you can ride on the roads, I think, for 3 months on the Australian motorcycle licence if you're on a tourist visa. I would highly suggest the fact that if you're here for longer than 3 months, that you get a Thai licence. Singapore claim to have 2 deaths already. I don't know about that. Maybe they do. Oh, Tim Anderson, you're too successful to reset it on 50. Yeah. I just probably look at my amount, much money I've got in the bank and the stock portfolio and say, no, I don't qualify as well. But I said, when I file my tax return, that might be a different matter, mightn't it? Who knows? Yes, you do. Any vehicle that has a motor, e-bike or motor, they're classifying battery-powered motorcycles as a motorised vehicle. They do need a motorcycle licence. I don't know what I'm going to call this one. So Goy recently came off. I might do some clickbait on this one. Goy recently fell off her boat. This is her first ride out in a month since you might notice the scratches on the back of her bike on the near the exhaust there. And she's in the one in the cream coloured shirt. She took a spill. I will make sure that the photos of the damage and her bike and things will be in the vlog part of the video. But yeah, so this is her first ride in a month. Sorry for the kid turning us, but you've got to remember to look both ways here in Thailand. You can't just look one way, you've got to look both ways, multiple times. I'm riding tail gunner because I got the camera. Yeah, it's a bipartisan agreement, Dowlow, from my best understanding. Still, it's always worth investigating yourself, but from my best understanding, there's a bipartisan agreement between Australia and Thailand. Because we are both, we drive on the left-hand side of the road, because of that sort of nature, Australia has allowed Thais to drive on Australian roads without doing an Australian driving test, and without the need for a international permit, and vice versa. We're allowed reciprocal arrangement here in Thailand. It's not very well reported because Australia's a smaller density of people. Vice versa. Thais going to Australia, Australia's living in Thailand, so on and so forth. But yeah, after 3 months, you do need to have a qualified local licence. So you're confirming that, are you, Chris? I don't have the information in front of me, so I can't be sort of 100% sort of accurate on my statement. I did come across something. Yeah, that's something that's always been here in. I don't know if it's always been here in Thailand, but I know in Australia you've got to have the sign on the lights, left turn on red permitted after stopping. But in Thailand, it's accepted the fact left turn on red for any crossing. With caution, if you hit somebody, right, when you're left turning on red, you are liable. Basically, it is the same as Australia. A left turn on red permitted after stopping, and once you're clear to proceed. One of our biggest problems here on Thai roads is people not giving away to the ambulances. There was an article came out this week of a guy on a motorcycle, on a scooter, riding in the right-hand lane, blocking an ambulance, right, and playing chicken. As the ambulance tried to go around him, he would then change lanes to again block the ambulance. Don't worry, they got his number plates and everything else. He'll be raked over the coals for that. But supposedly the person in the ambulance died, right? So not only will he be charged with that particular offence, but he's going to live with the fact that his antics could have compounded the death of the person that was seeking medical advice and trying to be rushed to hospital. But again, this is the sort of ignorance we find with Thai riding on the roads and Thai driving. It's almost like this unwritten rule: I'm in front of you, I have the right of way. And invariably, this is one of the things you're going to deal with in Thailand, is if you're a foreigner riding or driving in Thailand, and you somehow do collide with somebody who is in front of you, you will invariably be the person at fault in that accident, no matter what evidence you have. It's almost like an unwritten rule: if somebody's in front of you, they have the right of way, even if they are coming in the wrong frickin' direction. Don't ask me, I can't believe it, but it's one of the things you have to deal with. Having good vision and good ethics of good mirrors and use of mirrors. You don't see me, my eyes are always on the mirrors, but you just don't trust anybody. Yeah, road rules are a guide, yes. You can be charged by breaking a rule if they deem it necessary, but I very rarely see a police officer in a car or a motorcycle actually pulling people over. It seems to be just an occurrence that I never see. No matter where I am, in buses, in cars, in the bikes, I don't think I can ever think of a day, considering the amount of population in Bangkok and the amount of people on the roads, I would invariably say, I didn't drive much in Australia, but I would constantly see weekly episodes of police pulling people over, right, no matter what transport I'm on Australian roads in Sydney. I don't see it over here. I think they seem to fall down to the whole process. We'll put up a road checkpoint here and catch people doing things wrong there, which really doesn't serve well for nipping in the bud bad driving practices. Again, I've yet to identify what I would call a speed driving camera. I know there's a couple of signs that I go past, and we've seen some of the what they call the advisory speed traps, but what I would consider to be a recognised street speed camera that you're familiar with in Australia. That's the ones on the poles and the ones in the back of trucks. I can quite honestly say I haven't come across one. But whether they're using a different technology, they've got a different set of rules over here. Maybe they are using the more compact sort of cameras that are doing the speed checks, so long as they're taking a photo. But again, motorcycles aren't required to have a number plate on the front of the bike. So a speed camera invariably would be checking the speed of the oncoming traffic, so they can't actually see the number plate of a motorcycle. So who knows? It's very hard. It's a lot of the roads are in here. This road here is effectively 6 lanes wide. So if they got a speed camera, I think there's a speed camera going to be facing, or is it going to be pointing away? There's been no evidence I can see of a speed camera at all anywhere I've driven.
I saw one on Chuck and Page. They passed one.
Did they?
Out on the rural. Yeah. But,
I saw one.
It was set up in a pickup truck.
Yeah, I saw one coming back from Sukhothai on our last Sukhothai trip, and I was driving, and the traffic flow in the slowest lane was doing 120 kilometres an hour. I was in the middle lane, pretty much doing the same 120 kilometres an hour, but the blanket speed limit in Thailand is 90 kilometres an hour. I saw the flash of the camera in my lane, but there was it was like a flash that was going off in every lane for every camera. But that was like 6 months ago. I still haven't seen a fine. I believe the fines are not sent out unless you're exceeding plus 30 kilometres an hour of the speed limit. That was something I did come across on one of my motorcycle Facebook groups. They were mentioning the fact that generally fines are not sent out unless, of course, you're exceeding the speed limit by more than 30 kilometres an hour. But don't take my word for it. Again, if you're speeding, you're speeding. 90 kilometres an hour is the speed limit. If you're going faster than that, then there is a possibility you will get a fine. Just wear the consequences if you want to break the rules. I tend to like to ride tail gunner in these rides because I've got the camera, and if anybody cut out in front of it, at least we've got some photo evidence of somebody actually being hit by a bad driving process of somebody else. But thankfully it hasn't come into a situation where I've needed to use that footage yet, thankfully. I also believe on the last ride when we went to the waterfall, the reason why I didn't get raked up the coals there is I had the camera running. They saw I had a camera, they saw Bob had a camera. They pulled us over, they took one look at the cameras, they realised they were on camera, and then they waved us through. So we didn't have to pay for the Christmas fund. Yet the others in the group who had ridden on ahead, the fast riders, they had ridden on ahead, they got pulled over at the same checkpoint, and they asked to see their licences and registration and everything else, and 2 people were riding without their licence and they got their fines. So there you go. They were wearing helmets, but they got a fine for not producing a licence.
So what does that fine look like? Do they make you stop riding, or they just hit you with 1,000 baht? Or
I've not actually had to go through that. I've only been pulled over once here in Thailand. Supposedly the issue was that I had crossed an unbroken line coming up to a toll booth. Now the reason why I crossed that unbroken line is the toll booth that has the automatic tolls was in the centre, right, and the right-hand toll booth was closed, right, and I had to cross those lines to get to, because I didn't have the thing. So it was really a bit of a setup that they had created.
Again.
It was a setup they'd created. They closed the right-hand toll booth, which was a pay booth, right? The two next 2 booths were the automatic tolls, which I didn't have the automatic thing, and then I had to cross 3 lanes of unbroken line. And when I got through, I paid the 50 baht for the fee for the toll booth, and the police officer was on the other side there. The sheet was already filled out, right? From what I could see, the sheet was already filled out. All they needed was so they were specifically standing there because they created a situation where people had to cross unbroken lines to get through if they didn't have an automatic toll ticket, And inevitably, I had to pay the $1,000 bribe because they were going to take care of it for me. That's how they said it. They said they would take care of it for me. Here's the fine. They'll write it out. Here's the 1,000 baht. Here's the 1,000 baht fine. Don't worry, we'll sort it out. That was basically how it transpired. It only happened once. I've just been a bit more careful about crossing those unbroken lines and coming up the toll booths ever since. Unfortunately, I didn't have video proof then. I didn't actually have the in-car camera. I was still only driving by GPS. That was part of my problem. I was driving by GPS to a location, and so I didn't know. I had to actually make that left-hand turn to the toll booths anyway, like the veer left. When I was veering left, there was 3 lanes of traffic veering left, and I'd only just caught it in time. That was what caught me to be on the right-hand side of that lane anyway. A bit of an unfortunate situation. I tend to survey the routes more these days. Look at this 4x4. He said, "That's it. I'm just going your freaking lane there. I don't give a damn the fact that you were in that lane."
He's bigger than you. He's got the right of way.
That's right. He's bigger than me, and his nose was more in front of me than I was in front of him. So he had the right of way. That was his opinion. Yeah, should get that one. Yeah, put the drive on it. Yeah. as you can see, the rain is coming in. This is that was the other funny part. Would more than likely be in the video for the vlog, but Goy just washed her bike the previous day. So the rule is never wash your bike before a road trip. This is the first rain we've actually had in Bangkok for like 3 months.
No, Warren, that's your rain dance to the god.
What was that?
I said dance for the rain god.
The rain god what?
The rain god.
Oh yeah, rain god. Sorry, yeah. I didn't. Well, when I came here, I had to leave my medicine drum at home. I had to give my medicine drum away, so I couldn't do the rain dance. This is an interesting back alley we're going through here. Supposedly it's not supposedly a car access road. This is motorcycles only. Mind you, people in cars do use it, but they're not supposed to. There's actually a water reservoir on the left-hand side. Oh yeah, if you are, like, look, I think these days, I think we've talked about it before, the issue with, what's his name, can't remember the guy's name. Anyway, he was caught, truck backed into him, and everybody was all up in arms about the fact that the foreigner crashed in the back of the truck. Right, when the insurance company came, then he pulled out his video footage, which was in the car, his dash cam, right, and all the apologies under the sun were then being made for the defamation and everything else, which is quite interesting. But as I said, I've got the camera in our car, and I always drive the camera in a car. When I ride, I always ride with the camera on the bike. I always record all the footage, right? It's just one of those sort of things. I'm not going to be sitting there sort of having to deal with, some Thai and bad driving technique telling me that it's my fault when I know I'm a good driver and rider. I was wondering where Goy was taking us on this trip, I didn't realise we were going to be dirt bike riding that day. There's a nice little river crossing. You had to keep your balance on that one. I thought it was a bit tricky. Our biggest concern was whether we're going to make it to our restaurant in time, or were we going to get wet. Well, I'll let you figure that one out when we get to that part of the video. Yeah, I said, I don't rage too much, but you have heard me use a few expletives when I've been out on a ride. Sometimes you just can't help yourself, unfortunately. It's just the way it is. But now I hope this has taken people's mind off the whole COVID virus thing, which is my intention. Let's have a bit of a reprieve from the whole death cult of COVID-19, which seems to be prevalent around everywhere we go. Yes, it's looking rather grey out there. Yep, 3 up, no helmets. Very good. Yeah, just back into the main roadway, why not? Yes. Gotta love it. This is sort of what we're showing you. This is like what you have to deal with here, riding on Thai roads. Or driving. Ludwig himself, he's only a new rider. He's on an international permit over here for a short spell. He actually had difficulty hiring a bike because a lot of the bike hiring places are closing down as well because lack of tourists. He's only on a 150cc, a 155cc. Jim L. Good morning. That was a good day or good morning from Sweden. I think it's still morning. Coming up through here, we had a bit of a dust storm going on. We've actually got a bit of quite a strong breeze coming up from the east behind us and it's blowing up all this dust. Yeah, Ray. Yeah, well, the whole idea, something different. You know, we've had a few weeks of all the fear mongering and the funny memes and everything else. We've already done the funny memes, but I thought let's just take in a bit of a ride. We'll take you up to the restaurant. It's only for another 20 minutes of riding in this leg of the ride to this lovely restaurant we went to last Sunday, which I must take Chanya out to. So yeah, in one sort of sense, it's another bistro visit, but bistro visit with a difference and not with Chanya. So yes, there will be 2 vlogs out next week. This one here, with a little bit of ride in it, plus the visit to Jessica Museum. So we did three things. We did the rest. We had lunch at the bistro, then we went to Jessica Technique Car Museum. Which will make the whole vlog probably about 20 or 25 minutes long, something like that. And of course, we did a restaurant last Wednesday, which was a lovely day out. That bistro we went to last Wednesday is actually a homestay, so there's a bit about the homestay in that one as well. And we actually got a discount on that one because when we were there, we took some photos and we put them on. We tagged the restaurant in the photo, and the owner came out. When the bill came out, the owner came out and says, "No, sorry," and she told the girl go back inside and read the bill with a 10% discount because we'd tagged them in the photos on our Facebook pages. I thought that was really nice. Hopefully we'll get even a bigger discount when we do the video. Somebody's beeping me over there. I don't know who that is, but who's beeping me on the video? Arian's 4-minute long message from Arian. Okay, I'll listen to that one later. Bangkok really turns quite rural quite quickly when you think about it. No, this is morning. This is this is coming up to about maybe 10:30, 11ish. 11 in the morning, around about. I don't think we see the time on my phone there. Doesn't quite say. I think it's bouncing around too much to see the time on the phone. But around 11 in the morning. It does. It look like even this is the rainstorm coming in. I haven't sort of seen that one, Brian. UN soldiers arriving last in Darwin. Haven't heard anything, but stay tuned. I said, like I post a lot of this stuff on our little Discord group, and sometimes it's worth anything to do with Thailand I post in the Facebook group, but anything of interest in that way I usually post in our Discord group. If you're not in our Discord group, you're not in the close community. Don't forget, we're supposed to be social distancing now. The best way to social distance is hang out on Discord with us. You know, Oggy and me are here most of the time when in our waking hours. He even pops in at lunchtime and afternoon, morning tea and lunchtime. He pops in from work just to say hello.
I usually just a wine.
Just a wine that you died too many times in Imperial, yeah.
Okay, just posted the article from my Singapore website that there are 2 deaths on the COVID virus in Singapore.
Is there 2 deaths?
Yeah, 2 goner.
Is that the first 2 in Singapore, is it?
Yes, Warren, first
Yeah.
2. And
Yeah, I
I
think-
suspect, I think there are more to come.
Yeah, we're still got showing numbers of only 1.
Yeah, no, because we have these patients, they have full complications like kidney problems, heart
Yeah.
problems, and things like that. So yeah, it complicates things and mess up their whole body system. So the immune system is down, everything is not working perfectly. So
Yeah.
I guess it's time to go.
Well, that's the thing. I think I did come across an article during the week that said 99% of the deaths listed so far have had the COVID-19 was only compound on top of what the existing ailment was. As you can see, with just a little bit of rain starting now. So the image will start to blur out here on the ride for a bit. I can't tell you about that, Jim. I really don't know whether the quad bikes are even registerable on Thailand. There's a few quad bikes run around our soy, but they don't actually have number plates on them. So it's a bit of a mystery there. I really don't know how they're panning out. Yeah, look, I see. Depending on what the day was, depending on what the checkpoint's about, I've seen riders riding through checkpoints without helmets on, but they're pulling over trucks for pollution tests. You know, basically riding without helmets, not on the infringement list today, so we're not bothered with it. So that's the sort of thing we have here. I've sort of seen riders specifically doing U-turns, right, where it specifically says no U-turn, right, and there's a police directing traffic, in that, stopping traffic and helping the opposite road turn in, and they don't do anything about riders. It's just, just like their superiors to say, this is the list of things to do today, and this is what we're going to do today. So there you go. Oh, one thing I did wanted to mention about riding in the rain here in Thailand is actually not as apart from the fact that the roads are very slick. The best part about it is, like, it was about 33 degrees Celsius when we started our ride. You get a little bit of wind chill by about 2 degrees by riding, so because of the sweat on your body, so that'll reduce the temperature, our local body temperature, to about 28 degrees with your riding gear on, right? But as soon as this rain started, I could say definitely the wind chill factor would have dropped down to about 20, 22 degrees Celsius. It was really, really a comfortable ride, temperature-wise. It was actually quite cool. The only problem was the fact that, here's one of these speed check things that so it's a digital speed check warning, but I don't think there's a camera attached to it. But yes, it was a very comfortable ride in this cooler temperature. It actually really felt quite nice. But again, the biggest problem was the water on the road. That was our biggest issue. This is where I tell Goy the fact that my phone is not waterproof. Let's stop. Brian Jackson, just by coincidence, Rothschild investment firm are being investigated in Malaysia about fraud on health stocks and the billions of dollars. Yeah, like, it wouldn't surprise me. There's going to be a lot of questions and to be asked once the major panic's over. It really just what is the human race anymore? What is it, a race now? Is it like first in, first served? The human race? Seriously, it's appalling what's going on in the world today. Hopefully, this scare will help make some new rules so that we can be people again. But I don't know. It's hard to say. This is one of the reasons why I don't normally do rides in the rain, is simply because of the fact that you can't really use this footage in your ride footage. But I can show it here, it gives you a bit of an idea how wet it was and what it is. Of course, when you've got your visor on, you can actually see a lot better than what the camera can. But yeah, so we actually stopped down here when the rain is starting to get a little on the heavy side. This little cover here looks like a motorcycle, the Wind Taxi motorcycle location. They said go down underneath, and so we went and stayed underneath until the rain was still running. So the rain had eased off here after about maybe 45 minutes. So we get back on the road again. Yeah, Andy, people with money seem to get away with it. I just don't have enough money to get away with it, that's all. Even all of my careful planning, if I started 10 years earlier, maybe I might have been in a better position. "13 seconds, I probably should have cut this little wait period out. 10, 9, 8. I first started coming to Thailand in 2005. We just opened an office. That was my first trip. I had to fit out the office for the equipment that they needed to connect to Australia. So I came to Thailand, packing the router, packing the hub, packing a few other bits and pieces, and we were holed up in a Serve Corp office on Ceylon, actually overlooking Patpong of all places. The Servcop offices were in the tall building just above the Ceylon night markets there. So that was my first indoctrination into Thailand. And I'd been travelling backwards and forwards about twice a year up until 2009. We actually got an IT guy to run the office in 2008. So those trips are looking like minimising because we were doing a lot of the work over here remotely. But every time there was a big fit out or a new server going in, I would be flying over, coming over to sort things out. Yeah, the guy we put in the office there, he was only a junior level. He was really to look after the staff, so he took care of the day-to-day stuff. I only came up with major projects, but it was a lot of good fun. But then, of course, I met Chanya in 2009 on one of those business trips. That's when I really started travelling to Thailand, and on my own dime, of course. It's nice to get trips to Thailand in business class. Well, actually, not so much business class. I didn't play the game. Although we had a policy in the office, the fact that any trip, any business trip that was, I think, classified as 9 hours or longer, was automatically flown business class. That was a policy. I sort of said, well, technically it's only 8.5 hours. I know, the CEO, and then we'll call it a 9-hour trip. It's really only 8.5 hours. Look, I don't play the game. Just get me on a plane. I don't give a damn about business class. I could have, but I just didn't play the game.
What are you playing with?
What was that?
I hear crackling.
Oh no, that's the rain on the camera.
Oh, okay.
So we thought the rain had stopped, but we caught up to the rain again. You see, because the rain's actually travelling in the same direction. The squall was travelling west as we were travelling west. So we thought the rain break had stopped, but the rain break was travelling slower than what we were travelling. So we stopped just up ahead, a bit further up ahead here.
And here I thought it was you, like, sitting you were replicating.
No, rustling my chip packets, rustling my lay packets. Here we go. I can get the lay packets out and have some lay. That should sounds very familiar, doesn't it?
It does.
The biggest problem when you're riding the route for a motorcycle is, we do have a pothole situation here, and when you get the rain comes in so fast, as you can see the water on the side of the road, you don't know where the road ends and then the potholes begin. Which means you have to ride in the centre of the road, which is really not all that safe. Yeah, so if he decides to stop over here, get back under cover again for a bit to let it pass again. Another break in the rain. The poor guy, she actually can't touch the ground properly on that 250cc. She's only a short. She's only a shorty. She's on tiptoes. Crotch rockets and short ties.
Just buy the child-sized one.
well, they don't actually have child-sized ones. So it's a little bit more rain on the way through. But it actually starts to peter off now. We are getting out into the sort of real rural area of Thailand now, aren't we?
Yeah.
I swear I hear somebody coming in my door there, but the door's still closed. Oh, look, yeah, I would have a copy too. I think I might have to go nick out later and get one. But it actually was one thing about this ride. It was actually nice to actually have the group stay as a group, riding as a group for a change. One of the things
Is that unusual?
yeah, normally the sports bikes, they'll just go off and again, you've got a sports bike, you want to go for a ride, you want to go fast. You know, I like to ride and cruise. You know, again, I don't. I'm still a visitor here technically. When I'm going around a road I've never seen before, I like to look at the scenery. A little bit of water on the road there. This is what it's like in wet season as well. That's another thing I could probably get a hold of if I could. I haven't seen it over here. Is Rain-X. Let's see if somebody can bring some Rain-X over next time in Australia. That will really stop all these. That will stop the water collecting on the lens. Might help the horizon.
Rain-X is good stuff.
First time I used Rain-X, I thought it was absolutely brilliant. You know, they put it on the car I had. You know, that was just the way that water. The water was defying gravity and rolling up the windows instead of down. You know, it is actually quite bizarre. A few more puddles to negotiate. Yeah, I think this is what you think. You get the city living, and then as soon as you just get out of the main metropolis areas, it's all what they call commercial farming or rural farming. Do you call this commercial farming or rural farming? I don't know. When I do these recordings here, I normally put it through an equalizer filter to get rid of a lot of the wind noise and things, bits and pieces. She was thinking about stopping again because the rain has started again, but she decides to press on. We're wet already. A little bit more water's not going to hurt us. Mr. Zog surf wax. Wouldn't that leave a smearing on the window though? I don't see how you'd be able to see out of it very well, but I suppose it'll stop the water beading. Yeah. But as I said, it was really comfortable. So, it felt like about 22 degrees Celsius. It was a very comfortable ride from here on in into the restaurant. Where are we up to in the video anyway? Hour and 9 minutes. Let's fast forward a little bit further. Yeah, so we've still got the rain here. It starts to level off a bit here. Got a bit more rural travel out here. The rain starts to peter off a little bit. There's going to be some initial learning, but I think there's just certain elements of the human race that it's going to take a virulent. From here, what's this one? Okay, Fin Mobile, yes, very good. Couple. They send you a paper bill. I've already paid for it, but they send me a bill anyway. Very good. It's been paid for, of course. Yes, greed will win out in the end, unfortunately. Gordon Gecko, greed is good. Greed works. Yes, this is the little restaurant we went to. It's really the Paloma, I think it's called. Lovely little place. It's like again on a commercial garden. But you have to wait for the vlog to see what it's like inside. there. We have a lovely lunch. I had purple rice with my food. I don't know if you saw that on my Facebook. I took an Instagram picture of my food. Yes, purple rice. Ever had purple rice? I guess it's just got food colouring in it. Wait for them to get going. And of course now the rain has stopped. Come on, come on. Ever tried doing up your jacket in gloves? Off we go again. The next part of this ride is actually quite scenic. I thought after this next 15 minutes of riding, we'll probably close it up there. But you get to see the actual scenery around here. The map pin for these locations will be on the vlog, which will be out next week. But we are still on wet roads, but it's not raining anymore, which is nice. Yeah, like they said, if you are a motorcycle rider, I highly recommend getting on a bike and doing some bike travels. My biggest problem is the fact that my best time to ride is during the week, and when the group rides, they tend to ride on Saturday, and I don't want to. I said I've got a thing going now with my live streams that, and I can't live stream the bike ride, so I'd rather keep the schedule of 10 o'clock Saturday morning for a live stream, just to keep in touch with all the regular viewers, say hello, and keep the community happy with something different. But yeah, so they tend to want to ride on a Saturday. When she called this one, I said, can we do it on a Sunday so I can come along? And so they decided on the Sunday, but a few more people were going to come, but I think they looked at the weather and said, it's going to rain, we're not going. Typical. We said, well, we said we got a chance, and we haven't been riding. I'd been riding with the group since November last year, so it was a bit of a pain. And even that November trip, we had the rain as well, so can't quite work out what this overhead is. It looks like another bypass freeway that they're building. Not open yet. I think it's another Western distributor. Hopefully it'll alleviate some more traffic off the PopeKael road route when it's finished. The big bike, you mean the big bike licensing? Haven't heard any more of that. That seems to have died in the arse. And again, the numbers didn't justify the excuses. Right? The predominant deaths of motorcycles on roads, right, are from two areas. The 125 to 150cc motorcycles have the highest accident rates. The death rates, something 45% of deaths on the roads are unlicensed riders and riders without motorcycles. So I think the heat has gone off big bikes, but I do hope they would bring something in as the fact that you can't, as a 16-year-old, go out and buy a 1000cc motorcycle. That would be a good idea. I think they need to bring in like an age restriction. And you have to ride. The license the new license is up to 150cc, right, as a new rider, and like we have our provisionals. If they can bring in something like that, that would be advantageous. Bringing in a provisional license so that you can learn to ride before you get a big bike. Won't solve the problem from the people that have got the big bikes now, but hopefully Darwinism will kick in with the big bike riders. The idiots will to rid themselves from the gene pool. So they can look forward to that. Unfortunately, it's always something. There's always an innocent that seems to get hurt with those sort of things, which is the unfortunate side of it. Yeah, again, 1940. That's why we're doing these little bistro visits out west. Is I'm pretty sure they're suffering quite badly from passing traffic. So, you know, go there. Even though I got the 10% discount last Wednesday, well, guess what? When I put the 600 baht on the table, she brought the change. I left the change on the table, so they still ended up paying full price. But I think it was 605 baht was the full price, and it was 556 or something was the discounted price. They got the full price anyway, but as a tip. Spot checks, for Victoria Police are doing spot checks. $20,000 fines if you're not home. What? Are they enforcing that quarantine? I don't know. Yeah, Johnny, that's at I think was this time and age was sort of seeing the true colours of a lot of people. I think people who are exercising that, you know, that xenophobic approach to other people, if you see those topics, if you know those people, I think I would be striking them from my friends list. I just think it's uncalled for. We need to have more of an altruistic attitude to, you know, we're all in this together. It started one place, but even now the evidence seems to suggest the fact that there was a military lab in America. It was closed down a couple of months before for an unknown pneumonia-like virus that had struck there, and then, you know, a few other sort of, you know, conspiracy theories around that. Who knows? I did go and eat it last night. I had dinner at Burger King, but again, you know, there's, you know, 7 or 8 staff at Burger King. You need to pay their wages too. But you know, I eat locally. I eat locally all the time. I'm not into big restaurants. These sort of areas in Nakhon Pathom, which is where we are really actually quite nice places to explore. They're just, you know, it's just so laid back. It's only an hour out of Bangkok. Oh, right, okay. So they're tracking you by phone. That's what they're doing over here. People who are making it into the country are being having to put a app on their phone. They've been told to self-quarantine for 14 days, which hardly defeats the purpose of coming over here anyway. If you're coming on holiday, great way to spend your holiday is in your freaking holiday hotel room. Those hotel rooms are a bit small. As you can see, the roads are now starting to dry out a little bit. But yeah, it was a good ride. I actually quite enjoyed it. It was a good day out. We didn't get home till about 4 o'clock in the afternoon after the Jessamine Museum and everything else. This is where we're off to next, is Jessamine Museum. Still a few drops of rain here and there. That's the actual main Western Railway going out to the city as well. That railway goes out to Kanchanaburi and then branches off down to down south to what do you call it? Also goes south to Hua Hin and down south as well. There's dual lane here, but then of course it changed to single lane a bit further out. Yeah, maybe. You can't teach Thai girls anything, come on. I think I'm getting more water from the trees than I am from the road at this point. The rain's actually stopped, but the water's coming out of the trees as droplets. This is the worst part about riding, of course, is where you got all this leaf litter in on a wet road. It makes it can get like grease when you're riding a motorcycle. You really need to take it very carefully.
Yeah, wet leaves are the worst.
Well, that's actually how Goy came off. She did a ride out around Sisawat, where we went last year. She was on that 250cc motorcycle. She lost the rear end twice, but didn't come off. So she started riding real slow, and then she went around a long left-hander, or long right-hander. And she says she has no idea what it was, but the rear tyre just completely disappeared from underneath her when she actually came off. And she wasn't driving fast at all. There was just something on the road that was unseen. It was just probably a bit of leaf litter on a dry road, in fact. It always surprises me how you get these big commercial buildings in the middle of freaking nowhere. Yeah? What the business is, that's the mystery. I don't read enough Thai these days.
Some kind of factory, huh?
Yeah. There seems to be no zoning rules at all when it comes to building. the Jessica Technique Museum. They're actually moving this place. They're telling us the fact that where it is now, that they're moving it out of this building another couple of 100 yards down this road. No cover, but we decided to park underneath the wings of the aeroplane. Why not? Anyway, that's enough about a ride. Hope you enjoyed that. Something different for a change. So I'll try to do ride videos if I've got some ride footage. Hopefully we'll get out and do some more. Given all the lockdown situation in Bangkok, it's probably good to get out of the city and do some more rides. L19 bird dog, yes. I don't know what type of plane that was, but yeah, I think it could be a bird dog. I'm not up on my aviation history. There's a helicopter in there as well. But you'll see more of that when we do the vlog. So the vlog will be out sort of probably Monday or Tuesday, something like that. Anyway, I'm going to wrap it up now. It's gone sort of, it's 12:30. I want to get some. Well, I think me and Oggy want to do some gaming. So I'm going to close it up now. Find my little tune thing. Where's my closing tune? So we've got all that ready to go. Wind the sign up and that. Yes, anyway, thanks for joining us. So a bit of a, latest news, latest gossip, talk amongst yourselves. Very sad again. No super chat. I don't get the boat. Nobody bought me a coffee. I'm so sad. No coffee. I have to drink water, see. But anyway.
What are you sad about?
No super chat. No coffee today.
Oh.
And that doesn't mean you go and buy me one. I know you'd buy me one any day. But anyway, thanks for joining. I think we had a bit of fun today. Don't know where Stephen is. We'll see. Hopefully we'll find out whatever happened to Stephen over the coming week. I hope he didn't take the things I said to him too personally. Oh, there you go. Darlow's bought me a coffee. Thank you. No, sorry about the Vegemite. He says here.
No.
You could, I suppose you could have put it on EMS before you left, But anyway, not to worry. We do have it at Foodland. It's all right. We just don't have the big jars. But anyway, the big jars, like the big 500 gram jars. They're big jars. The jars we have here is like that's the export size. Like wow, 125. Grams. Well, 125 grams. We pay 125 grams the same price as what Dallo would probably pay in Australia for the 500 gram. It's export quality. Come on.
Isn't there a 300% markup on anything coming in Thailand that they don't make?
I don't know what the markup is, but it seems awfully expensive. I think last time was there. Actually, when I bought the last lot, it was actually 2 for 1. I don't know why it was 2 for 1. But the price is 125 baht, so that was equivalent to effectively $6 Australian for the normal 125 gram. But of course we got 2 of them, so it was half price, so it wasn't too bad. It's 100. I did cover this on a vlog recently. I think the import duties on motor vehicles it's 80% import duty. And 120% on top of that is the customs. So they take the value of the car, they take 80% of the value of the car. That's the value of the car importable duty tax, and then you have 120% on top of that is the customs excise for your motor vehicle. So effectively, when I priced at that stage there, my Veloster had a I had a sale street value or insurance value of $16,000. To bring that to Thailand would have cost me $33,000 plus shipping. So it effectively would have been twice the price of the car plus another $3,000 in shipping. It just wasn't worth it. But then again, coming over here, it would have been nice to be able to have a Veloster. It would have been like a head turner. I think the Veloster over here was 1.7 million. So, I probably could have sold it again. It was 3 years old. I probably could have sold it and made a profit if I thought about it. But again, it just wasn't worth all the hassle. Plus having to go down to customs and pick it up and all that sort of stuff, and it takes 3 months to get here and shit like that. But anyway, we can talk about that another day. Thanks for joining us. Happy quarantine, everybody. Stay safe and stay arm's distance from other people. Stay arm's distance. And the new handshake is an elbow tap, right, with a thank you. Bye for now. See you later.
Here in the US is waving the middle finger.
Waving the middle finger. Okay, guys, we'll catch up with you next week. We may get another live stream out and about as well. We don't know yet. Peter B, g'day. Sorry, we're closing up now. You have to go and watch the previous footage. See you later and peace out. And we'll rock the tune. We hope to see you next here bright and early next week, 10 a.m. or 2 p.m. Australia time, or whatever time it is in the US. Oh my God. Ugh, does your head in, doesn't it?
Yeah. Starts at 8 p.m. on the West Coast.
Interesting. We don't get many trolls here. I've got to wonder where all the English people are. Anyway, where's my closing screen? Thanks for joining us, Argy. I'll stick around. We'll talk about gaming in a second. Bye for now.